Welcome to the best gambling show on the internet. This is the home of the money pick. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. NFL Week 14 player props to bet. And boys, we had ourselves a great prop week once again. And we know how these spreads have been this year. The NFL's been unpredictable. But one thing we've been able to predict is our props have been fire. And I have some ugly props, but I believe they'll hit. Let's start with the ugliest first. We got Tyler Shuck. Over 217 and a half passing yards, and I get it. You're saying Lawson, you don't think Shuck's a starter in this league, and I don't. I don't think he's starter quality. But look at the matchup. Look at the spread of this game. Tampa is laying 8.5 points, and I think the Saints will play down in this game like they did against Miami. And one thing you know you can't do against that Tampa Bay defense is run the ball. But one thing you can do, and you can do often, is throw it, and they give up a ton of explosive plays. I think Shuck goes over the 217 and a half passing yards. Not the prettiest player prop in the world, but one I believe that will hit. Next prop, we got Devonte Adams. Over 52 and a half receiving yards. Guys, I'm shocked he's this low. This is a Cardinals defense that's banged up. This is a Cardinals secondary that really hasn't been all that great this year. This is a Rams offense that I know they had that hiccup against the Panthers, but that Rams offense was up and down the field like a NASCAR race. And I know Nakua is going to be featured more in this game, and I'm not expecting Devonte Adams to go for 150 or anything crazy, but 52 and a half for Devonte Adams is way too low in my book. I'm going over the 52 and a half wide receiving yards for Devonte Adams. Next prop, we got Bijan Robinson. Last week we went over. This week we're going the other way, and I'm going to give you an alternative if you don't like going under. But the unders always seem to pay. I'm going to go Bijan Robinson under 65 and a half rush yards. And this is a Seattle front seven that is just absolutely dominant. And I feel like the only way to fully attack Seattle on the offense, when your offense is playing their defense, is you have to throw it and you have to spread them out. And Drake London still hurt. Kirk Cousins. Falcons can't really protect. I just can't see Bijan having a monster day. I get it. You don't want to get against the Greek god that is Bijan Robinson. But I'm going under the 65 and a half rushing yards. If you want an alternative, I do like his over 35 and a half receiving yards. I absolutely love that. Next prop, we got Chase Brown. Over 52 and a half rushing yards. That's on FanDuel. Bet365 has the number a little bit higher. Try to shop around for the best numbers. But I think one part of this Bengals-Bills game that has been underplayed is I think this Bengals offensive line's gotten better. And you can just follow Chase Brown's stats for the last 6-7 weeks, and they are improving, and he's getting more space to run. And I'm not saying Chase Brown is an amazing running back, but I think this is a great matchup for them. We know the weakness of the Bills defense. They're really small up front. They're small at the linebacking core, and I think with Joe Burrow's limited mobility in Buffalo, they're going to have to give Chase Brown 13 to 15 attempts, and I think he goes over the 52 and a half. We've seen this Bills run defense fold many a times. I mean, thank God the Bills came through for us last week against the Steelers run game. I get it. That was great. But that was because Aaron Rodgers just couldn't throw and couldn't play. I'm going over the 52 and a half rush yards for Chase Brown. Next prop, and this one's not going to be popular. I'm going to go Brian Thomas Jr. over 47.5 receiving yards. We're buying low here on him. And I know the Jags have struggled to throw the ball at times this year. I get it. No one loves Trevor Lawrence, but we all love Liam Cohen. We know he's an absolute magician. And I know the Jags want to run the ball this game. I think that is really, really clear. And the Jags do have new targets in that stable of wide receivers. But I think Thomas Jr. gets to at least 55 or 60. This man still has supreme athleticism. Sauce Gardner's not playing. Colts sit back in a lot of zone. I know Thomas Jr. has had a lot of drops, but he's poised to do something this game. I'm going over the 47.5 receiving yards from Thomas Jr. Next prop, and we did this last week, and it's in the same game. I'm going Michael Pitman Jr. under 47.5 receiving yards. I just don't think he's the main target for the Colts anymore. I think they need to look more towards Downs. They're obviously looking more towards Alec Pierce. And I think the Colts, when they come into this game on the road, not saying the season's on the line against the Jags, but this is a big game in a high leverage situation. I think we're going to see an awful lot of Jonathan Taylor, and I just don't trust Michael Pittman Jr. in these spots. Like, this Jags secondary can be had, and they're going to send a lot of pressure at Daniel Jones. There's going to be opportunities for plays, but I just always felt like Pittman Jr.'s been overrated, and I don't think this has been even close to his best season. I'm going under the 47.5 receiving yards. Next prop. In an ugly game. This is if Lamar Jackson plays. Like, just make sure you go down to the deadline. Like, everyone's focusing on Zay Flowers overs for this game, which I think are 55.5. But I'm going to go Mark Andrews over 35.5 receiving yards. I just think with Lamar's limited mobility, with the Ravens just never fully dedicating to Derrick Henry, which is one thing I don't understand. And like, we don't want to coach our bats like they're playing the Steelers. You think they would run it an awful lot. I think we see Andrews get some service here. Give me Mark Andrews over 35.5 receiving yards, and it's not like the secondary or linebacking core of the Steelers have played well, and their scheme is extremely predictable. Next prop, this is different for me, so I'm wandering out into the forest on an unbeaten path. I'm going to go Will Anderson over 0.75 sacks. I think this was like actually plus 100 when I looked at it. But anyways, all of these are like minus 110 to minus 120 at max. But I'm going to go over 0.7 sacks for Will Anderson. I mean, this Chiefs offensive line's banged up. Pat Mahomes has taken more hits than normal. And I know Pat has a lot of escapability, but one thing Will Anderson has, he just wins. He wins and he keeps coming. I know Danielle Hunter and the other dogs up front for the Texans could eat up sacks, but I really like this one. I think Will Anderson gets at least one sack on the board. I'm going over 0.7 sacks for Will Anderson. Next prop, and this is one that I regret last week. It was a really good prop week, but this is one I regret. Devon Achane over 82.5 rushing yards. I know the Dolphins have been better. I mean, I know the Jets have been better on defense since they got rid of Quinnen Williams and Sauce Gardner, if that's even possible. But Bijan Robinson absolutely slashed and cut them last week. I expect more of the same from Achane, and I don't know how much McDaniel is going to let Tua throw in the cold. And also, I think the Dolphins are best when this is an Achane offense, when all the movement and flow goes through him. So give me Devon Achane over 82.5 rushing yards. Next prop, and maybe this is me playing the injury report a little bit, but this is a Greg Roman offensive coordinated team. I'm going to go Justin Herbert under 31.5 pass attempts against the Eagles. Jalen Carter out for the Eagles up front. That was one thing I was not expecting when I made the Tuesday video. So that threw me by surprise. And we saw the Eagles get absolutely gashed on the run game by the Chicago Bears. So I think we're going to see the Chargers try to run it and establish the run. I'm not sure how well that offensive line will do either way, pass blocking, run blocking. But I think at a certain point, the Chargers have to protect Herbert, because if he takes hits, if that injury gets worse, man, they're going to be out of the playoffs. Their season's going to be done. So I'm going to go Justin Herbert under 31.5 pass attempts. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you share the videos. The best gambling show on the internet. Everyone have a great weekend. Live call-in show will be at 5 p.m. Eastern tonight. A little bit earlier than normal. I get it. But I'm like 2 hours ahead of you guys in Brazil. Everyone have a great and blessed day. Get on Patreon. You'll see the bets. Tuesday's really early for the bets for me. Link in the description.